Problem with the Staff of the Ram has got a fixed DC value to resist the effects of it. The effect is great, it's a stun. People get knocked back as well. But the problem isn't that it's got a fixed DC so much as the value of that DC, and it's 8. Bloody 8. And we get this weapon in Baldur's Gate in Act 3, where most of the enemies will be able to pass that most of the time. The question then becomes, what can we do to make enemies fail more often? This weapon first appeared in Baldur's Gate 2 inside Watcher's Keep, which then means it was originally only available in the Throne of Baal expansion, and it very much had the same effect. However, it worked 10% of the time. There were no saving throws, no resistances would help it. It would just straight up work approximately 1 in 10 times. The path to find this weapon in Baldur's Gate 3 can start in Act 1, although it's not necessary, as there is an item on this executed drow called Engraved Pin. And you can see here it's got the classic symbol for the Harpers. So we're going to take that. You can actually pick up other pins in Act 2 and 3, but this is my favourite pin to use because I found it on my very first full playthrough of the game, and it is the one I actually used to open up the secret area in Act 3. Let's skip forward to Act 3 now, and we find ourselves at the Baldur's Gate waypoint. You go south, and then go into the first house you find on the right, with a little girl guarding it outside, Fig. We find here the Alarathan residence. It's also secretly Jaheira's home.
Cursed to get my hands on everything.
Now, I've got the engraved pin already, so I'm just going to come straight to here. Inside this pin slot, I still have the engraved pin from Act 1. This is actually from my very first playthrough. Hence the name of my character is Tav. Right. And it opens up this secret basement. If you come in the basement without Jaheira, you will need to disarm these traps. If you right click, you'll see it doesn't actually say disarm. You can tell if you go near them, you're going to get hurt. So you can, if you want to, just walk into them. That's a bit of an idiotic way to do things. What you can do instead, each of these traps has got an element, and all you need to do is hit it with that element. So this is a Scorched Orb. We have a Scorched Orb, so I'm going to hit it with some fire damage. And it goes out. Crackling, that looks like thunder or lightning to me. There we are, use some thunder damage. Oozing.
Alright, what now?
Now you can actually just like jump down there or fly down there. There are other ways around this. So we come down into here. And we'll notice, yep, there's a trap. There's a trap. Let's disarm the trap. You can just unlock that door as well. Inside is a key. Open this up. And inside here, I showed it in a very recent video. A bunch of items, but I'm interested in the Staff of the Ram. Right, it's time to try and solve the problem. So to make the staff's effect work more frequently, we need to try and get opponents to fail Constitution saving throws. And I'm going to go through the ways that kind of have the lower resource cost and are a bit more consistent. There are 2 spells I'm going to kind of glance over, which are Bestow Curse and Contagion Slimy Doom. Both of them give disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. Bestow Curse is a level 3 spell slot. I can't afford to do that with every single enemy. The level 5 spell is kind of obsolete anyway, because if they have the effects of the spell, anytime you hit them, they are stunned. So I've assembled a team. The first one being a level 6 barbarian with a tiger wild heart, so they can inflict bleeding, because bleeding gives disadvantage on Constitution saving throws, and if a tiger heart barbarian hits them while raging using their ability, their tiger ability, then they automatically get bleeding. This is also the character wielding the Staff of the Ram, and on top of that, I've given this character the Boots of Stormy Clamor, because if I inflict a condition, bleeding, then I give the enemy reverberation, and the point of that is that it gives a -1 penalty to, importantly, Constitution saving throws per remaining turn. There are plenty of other items here, but I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to look at items to help debuff Constitution saving throws. And the reason I picked Eldritch Knight is just so this dude can summon a rat. And the reason for the rat is you have Infectious Bite, and if you manage to bite a creature, you infect it, which gives disadvantage to Constitution saving throws, and Constitution is reduced by 1. The great thing about this infected condition is it lasts 10 turns. whereas the bleeding is like 2 and lots of other things are a limited number of turns. The downside is the rats don't have a very high chance to hit and they've only got 1 hit point. Next up, I've gone for a Sawlock multiclass. This is mostly because I've got the Spine Shredder amulet, so when he deals damage with a ranged spell attack, 2 turns of reverberation are inflicted upon the target. I picked the Warlock because we have Eldritch Blast and the Sorcerer so I can quicken it, so potentially get out a lot of Eldritch Blasts, spreading out this reverberation. I also picked Pact to the Chain so he can summon a rat, which can attack twice per round because he's level 5 in Warlock. Next up is a level 6 Wizard, Divination Wizard, level 6 Lawbard. This is so if we have a Divination dice, a Portent dice, then we can potentially make enemies fail their Constitution saving throws, and the Cutting Words helps potentially make enemies fail their Constitution saving throws. Plus, between these 2 spellcasters, I do have Bane, the spell Bane, which if it works, there's a 1d4 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws. You'll notice his intelligence and charisma are kind of only 16, but he's wearing loads of items that increase spell save DC. Importantly, he's also wielding Markahesh kit, and he's gone with Rumbling with Kreska's Thunder, so when he deals spell damage, he inflicts Reverberation. And then lastly, we have Shadowheart as a Beastmaster, level 12 Beastmaster. This is so we can have the wolf here, Lupus Optimus, because Lupus Optimus has the Infectious Bite, and can inflict disadvantage on Constitution saving throws and reduce Constitution by 1. Plus, she also has a rat. You'll notice every character has a rat, so we've got a pack of rats following us around. So the hope is that we're going to inflict lots of debuffs on the enemies and make them fail Constitution saving throws, but the DC is only 8, so they've got to be pretty unlucky to fail. And I've picked the Counting House because I did try this against some Flaming Fists, but they just don't have enough hit points. They basically die before I get a chance to even see the Staff of the Ram work.
Never wanted the easy.
So we're going to have an assault on the bank. Infected. Brilliant. So we can see immediately Constitution down by 1 and disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. I'm going to go for the same one. Try and decrease the Constitution 1 further. I will turn that off as soon as I can. Yeah, what I can start to do is start tagging effectively enemies with Reverberation and just start killing one of them. Although this won't last long, some of these spiritual weapons can also use weapon action. And I'm not really trying to rely on weapon actions because they're once per short rest and, yeah, basically once per battle. Oh, and lastly, I forgot about this. I gave Shadowheart the Jagged Spear, which is from Act 1. Can inflict torturous edges, which just gives disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. According to the wiki, although we don't see it, there is a Charisma saving throw to try and resist it. And you'll notice, look at that. Anytime I cast an action on myself, I have to succeed on a saving throw against the Staff of the Ram by myself, which is a bit annoying. I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna rage. So that was the effect of the Staff of the Ram, but there was no throw for it. I've chosen the Wolverine aspect, so when I attack someone who's bleeding, they are maimed. This is future CVG, and there is a bug where the log shows enemies making saving throws against aspect of the beast Wolverine, but this ability doesn't actually have a saving throw to resist, it always just works. The save DC for what's shown on the screen is 8, the same as the staff, and we did also see the guard get knocked back and stunned. So for some reason it is swapping out the name of the Staff of the Ram for this Wolverine ability. These guys can hurt quite a lot actually. There we are. Bleeding and maimed. Good stuff. Oh, I've got a feeling these rats are going to die to some AoE. It doesn't always happen, but it's possible. Give him Pawn on Master just to get extra attacks off, just in case Staff of the Ram works better. Try and infect. I actually forgot, these guys are paladins that are actually immune to some of these effects from the rats, and maybe even the wolf. There we are, the rats are going down now. That's quite a lot of enemies. This is a perfect place for confusion, I would suggest. Right, he's going to try and use it on this cash guard, so what I need to do with Gale... Obviously, I could just try and damage all these guys, but I really want to show off the Staff of the Ram. So I'm going to try and cast Bane. 50% chance, not great. 1, 2, 3. Alright, those two suffered from the effects, which does make me think I should just run over to here and try and use the Staff of the Ram against this dude. Let's try and use it here first. Already bleeding. Yeah, I keep saying succeeded on a saving throw against aspect of the Beast Wolverine, but it's just DC 8. There's obviously some graphical bug here. Oh, look at that. Even with disadvantage, they have to roll a 1. Anyway, let's try and get this one.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I'll suffer 1 opportunity attack. Let's go. Bane, mental reverberation. No, they passed. It's really difficult. Ah, there's the tortured condition. Immune to infected, there we are. That's kind of what I was worried about. Yeah, just double check. Paladins are immune to septic. Yes, please. Got him! Because of Bane and Reverberation and disadvantage, they made them roll a 7. Since this Cash Guard is going next, I'm going to try and stun them with the Staff of the Ram, but it's going to be really difficult because they've got a +4 to Constitution saving throws. Thankfully, we've got 3 lots of Reverberation. If I add more Reverberation, I might knock them prone and gets rid of it. So with Gale, I'm going to simply just try and use Bane one more time. It's not likely to work. It's worth a shot. Unfortunately, when I use this, it's going to add Reverberation. It gives them bleeding at the same time. Yeah, it didn't work. Right, time to try and lacerate someone. Saved. Now, apart from Eldritch Blast, I can also send out a Scorching Ray because it uses an attack roll. By this point, it's probably just going to die. Oh, oh. Did that work? No, it's probably just going to die from, yeah, being hit anyway. Reverberation 3, let's try it. Oh, wait, sorry, it did work. Ha. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong place earlier. Against this captain, I thought I saw the animation. I couldn't see it as one of the effects, but actually over here, we failed a saving throw against it. Rolled a 3 because of disadvantage, and the -2 was absolutely essential. Without that -2, they would have rolled 9. Now, Gale's going to bring out one of my favourite spells in the game. It does a huge amount of damage, doesn't affect allies. Try and get bleeding. Ooh, what was that? No, 1 passed. Second one passed as well. It says once per turn, but it does seem to be once per turn per enemy. Yeah, there we are. Oh, man. Quite close, but not quite. They got 8 in total. And because I got Marker Heshkir, just use Arcane Battery and Chain Lightning. Hey, got another one. Just because they're disadvantaged. I mean, some enemies aren't so good at Constitution saving throws, thankfully. That's my take on the Staff of the Ram. Was it worth it? No, not really. But at least I showed you ways of decreasing Constitution saving throws of enemies. Even with these debuffs, it's just so much easier to kill the people, to kill the enemies. That DC of 8 is just too low. If it was, you know, if it was higher, 10, 12, I'd be far happier. And these debuffs would mean more. But that DC of 8 just sucks. Let me know what you think of the Staff of the Ram and any other ways I missed out on decreasing enemies' Constitution saving throws. Thank you to all the members of my channel and for you to watching. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, can't target self. Alright then.